Good afternoon. My name is Isis Djata, and I'm known as the Master Moderator on Clubhouse. Welcome to Capitalizing on Clubhouse, Mastering Monetization. I can't wait to spend the next 30 minutes teaching you how you can monetize Clubhouse the same way I did. Now, you might not make $200,000 in a few months like me, but if you can make an extra $5, $10, $15, $20,000 a month, who wouldn't want that? I want to talk to you about how you make that happen. When you get onto a platform like Clubhouse, the first thing you need to know is you need to lead with authenticity. When you come there, I want you to be yourself because, like Oscar Wilde said, everyone else is taken. So come being exactly who you are. That's your special power. That's what's going to get you noticed. When you're on Clubhouse, you're going to have the opportunity to meet and correspond and network with people you never would have met. That's what happened to me. So I took my authenticity and I took the fact that I was a good orator and I capitalized on that. I allowed myself to monetize my talents and skills. So I want to talk to you guys for a moment about the importance of being able to monetize your talents and skills. You have to ask yourself, what am I good at? So you're going to get out a sheet of paper and I'm going to ask you a few questions and you might say, I already know the answers to these, but I assure you that when you write down the questions and the answers to them, everything will come together. The first question we want to ask ourselves when we decide we want to monetize our talents and skills is, what am I good at? It seems like a pretty basic question, but if you're a multi-hyphenate like me, you might be good at a few things. So you want to make sure that you're monetizing the one that's going to be able to bring you the income you're looking to achieve. So if you're good at reading, writing, speaking, whatever it is, write it all down. The next thing you're going to ask yourself is, how can I monetize this thing that I'm good at? Well, in order to be able to do that, you have to be able to package this thing up in a way where people can consume it. The great thing about Clubhouse is it's a phenomenal place to do that. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're a problem solver like me, you're going to be able to solve an issue that people have. So very quickly, I realized that one of the big issues people have on Clubhouse is they want someone who can effectively run events for them. Essentially, host events, high-level events that run professionally and that allow everyone that attends those events to leave feeling good, and while they're there, to feel like they got so much value from it. So for me, when I wrote down question number one, what am I good at? I'm a multi-hyphenate and I wrote down lots of things, but the one that I keyed in on was an orator. I decided that I was going to monetize my skills of being a good orator. So I wrote that down, and after I did that, I went to question number two. How can I monetize this thing that I'm good at? So you have to make a plan. In order to make a plan, you have to say to yourself, what is it that I'm trying to do, and how exactly can I get from point A to point B? So in order for me to make a plan to be able to monetize my talents and skills, I decided to spend 15 hours a day over 10 weeks on Clubhouse, watching people moderate, watching people make mistakes, looking at what worked and looking at what didn't work, and noting what I was going to take advantage of. After I had moderated for people for free for 15 hours over 10 weeks, that's when I decided to charge people. The reason it's so important that you're really good at what you're doing before you ever charge a dime is, if you want to have repeat customers and you want them to refer other people to you, you have to ensure that before you ever charge $1 to anyone, that you have really mastered this thing. So I'm an orator and I'm a great moderator. I branded myself as the master moderator. So after 15 hours a day, over 10 weeks, I came out as the master moderator. And people were booking me like crazy. But there was a plan that I had to put into action first. It requires a lot of hard work. And you can do it too. I really believe in you. How do I know? Because I did it. And if I can do it, you can. So now that you know what you're good at, you have a plan of how you're going to get the word out. The next thing you need to do is figure out, how am I going to let people know that I'm available for hire, right? You want people to hire you. So the way that you're going to do that, I did it without spending money on ads, and I would highly suggest you consider doing the same thing. Clubhouse is a phenomenal place, again, to do that. So if you're on Clubhouse, you don't have to run ads, because when you're running rooms, you're essentially running an ad. I teach my students that I instruct in Master Moderator University that every time you're on stage, you're marketing yourself. So anytime I would get on stage, I would make sure that I showed up as a master moderator. And you could tell from the moment I opened my mouth, I was confident, I was clear, I was concise, and I assured that everyone left the stage with their dignity intact. What does that mean? It means that sometimes you're going to have to deliver a message to people that's not the greatest. But if you do it in a way that allows them to leave their dignity intact, they'll feel good and they'll come back to your room. The point of the matter is on Clubhouse, you're having genuine conversations. And because of that, because that's the case, you want to make sure that when you're holding these rooms, everyone leaves feeling good. It's going to make them come back again. So when you're conducting your rooms, you need to show up every time as your best self. You need to be authentic and you need to lead with giving rather than receiving. Because if you do that, you'll get everything you want. How do I know? Because it happened to me. So every time you're on Clubhouse, you should be focused on giving massive value for free. And I know you're thinking, free, I need to make money. We all do. But if you don't chase money and you focus on what you really love and what you're passionate about, something you're going to find is that the money will find you. So I knew that I was great at being a master moderator and I loved hosting events for people. So I made sure I was really, really good at that. And once I got great at it, then people wanted to book me. I created a video, I put it on my Instagram page, and the clients started rolling in. That's the thing about being passionate about what you do. It will always ring true, and people will find you. Your clients, your customers will find you. So you have to find out what you're good at. You have to be authentic. You have to lead with giving rather than receiving, because when you do, you'll get everything you want. You have to be yourself. You have to make a plan. I know I'm giving you a lot of steps, but they really work. These are all things I do. And after you do all of that, you have to create a plan of action and you have to implement it. So I did that for myself. You see, Clubhouse is like being back in high school, and it's like the most popular place to be. Everybody wants to be on the app. Everybody wants to be seen. But if you're not careful, you wind up spending time on the app that's not actually giving you a return on your investment. And the return on your investment is the time that you're spending. You see, to me, time is more valuable than money because it's something you can't get back. Money's fluid. You can always make more. But your time has to be spent wisely or you'll find that you've misspent it and you can't get it back again. So in order to make sure that I always spent my time well on Clubhouse, I created something called the 70-30 rule. And what that means, and I want you to create it for yourself too, the 70-30 rule essentially means that I'm going to spend 70% of my time building my own stages and only 30% of my time on other people's stages. And when I'm on their stages, I'm going to leverage them. I like to call it leveraging other people's stages, LOPS. And you can do it too. So what does that mean? Well, you're a master moderator. You're great at running events for people. Wonderful. When you're not running your own events, I want you to go on other people's stages, add massive value to conversations. And while you're there, I want you to make sure people know who you are, how they can find you, and your value proposition. When you do that, you are essentially leveraging other people's stages. Because I can assure you that when you get on somebody else's stage, when you add lots of value to the listeners in the room and give them meaningful action steps that they can take, they are going to follow you. And that is essential if you are leveraging someone else's stage. So to ensure that you don't waste your time on Clubhouse, because time is something we can never get back, make sure that you utilize the 70-30 rule. Spend 70% of your time building your own stages, attracting clients, holding rooms. Those are how you build your own stages and get clients. But I want you to spend 30% of your time leveraging other people's stages. It's really the secret sauce. It's what I do that allows me to be able to make the income that I'm making on Clubhouse. So we just talked about leveraging other people's stages. Guys, that's how I've been able to do this. People say to me, Isis, how are you doing what you're doing? How do you have these amazing clients? I want to teach you about something else. It's not just about leveraging other people's stages. It's not just about creating your 70-30 rule. It's not just about being authentic, and it's not just about making a plan. It's also about being able to leverage relationships. You see, I have to be honest with you. As great as I may believe that I am, I couldn't have done this by myself. In order to do what I've done in just the few months that I've done it in, I had to build meaningful relationships with people that could help me. So by doing that, you make sure that you're always there to add value and to assist anyone that needs your help without ever asking for anything. Now, I know that sounds hard, like, wait, I'm just supposed to give my time for free and I don't get anything? Yes, you have to understand that people of influence that have something that you're looking to get or learn or attract, they're very used to people coming around them for what they can do for them. When you come to them and you're offering a service, it's like a breath of fresh air, and they immediately take notice of you. Think about it. I've only been doing this a few months, and my inbox on Instagram is flooded with people asking me to do favors for them. So it's very hard to kind of cut through the noise. But every once in a while, I get a message from somebody who says, Isis, you run the most phenomenal rooms on Clubhouse. Do you ever need a note taker? I'd love to come in there and take notes for you, for your listeners to add value. That stands out to me. That's what I did to you guys. I saw people that were going in the direction I wanted to go in, and I would reach out to them and say, hi, my name is Isis Djata, and I'm the master moderator on Clubhouse. I'd love to assist you in any way that I can. So I know I've given you guys a lot so far. I've told you to be authentic. I've told you to make a plan. I've told you to ask yourself what you're good at. I've told you to figure out how you're going to package up what you're good at so you can sell it. And I've told you to leverage other people's stages and to follow my 70-30 rule. But I think the most important thing I can tell you today is there is a power in leveraging relationships. When you do this correctly, people will help you and you'll never have to ask them to help you. When you do this correctly, people will help you and you'll never have to ask them to help you. It literally happened to me and it happens to me all the time. So now let's go back for a second. Now you've done all those things. You've made your plan, you're networking, people know who you are, you're following the 70-30 rule, spending 70% of your time leveraging your own stages and 30% of your time on other people's stages. Now it's time for you to move into the action step where you're actually converting clients or potential clients, right? So there's a way to do that. People know who you are, you're a value adder, they want to be in the rooms you're in. So how do you actually get your clients? How do you get clients to want to work with you? Well, I'll tell you exactly how you do that. The way you're going to do that is you're going to market yourself. Now, I've made over $200,000 on Clubhouse in just a few months, and it'll surprise you to know this, but I didn't spend any money on ads. And I know that sounds crazy because there's nothing wrong with ads. Ads are wonderful, but I found that I didn't need to because I focused on building community. When you build a community, people will come. So how do you do that, you ask? Well, it goes back to putting in the work. Remember earlier I told you that before I ever charged anyone a dime, I spent 15 hours a day over 10 weeks on Clubhouse learning the art of moderating. I charge $400 today, but I was not charging that just a few months ago. So once I learned the art of moderating, and I knew that when I branded myself as the master moderator, I'd be able to live up to that title, that's when I started putting myself out there and converting clients. So I want to talk to you about how to convert a client. You can absolutely do this. You don't have to spend money on ads, but there's a few things you should do. I want you to make a video, post it on your Instagram page, let people know who you are, what your value proposition is, and how you can help them. You see, if you're a problem solver, you'll never be without clients. But there's one other thing that's part of my secret sauce. Not only am I a problem solver, but I focus on providing my clients and potential customers with an unparalleled customer service experience. I want to tell you why this is so important. You see, in the world we live in today, everything is super transactional. When I get really great customer service, I'm actually surprised by it because I think I'm not used to getting it anymore. And I can tell you that I'm not the only one. So what does that mean? When you're a problem solver, meaning you can solve somebody's problem and you provide them with excellent customer service, you have a winning proposition and people will want to work with you. Your clients and your potential clients will gravitate to you. They will refer people to you. How do I know? That's how I scaled my business from $0 to $30,000 a month in 8 weeks, and then from $30,000 a month to $60,000 a month just 2 months later. And I'm doing that now, and I do it every single month. You have to understand that providing unparalleled customer service to not only your current clients, but your prospective clients is crucial. So I want you to sit down and say to yourself, what is it that I'm good at? Get that pen and pad out. What is it that I'm good at? How can I monetize this thing that I'm good at? How can I get the word out to people? And how can I ensure that I give my clients and my prospective customers an unparalleled customer service experience? If you can figure that all out, you will have a plan of action. And when you have that plan of action, you take it and you can use that to execute. Now that you have that, you're going to shoot a video, put it on your Instagram page, put it on your Instagram story so that people know you're available. I hold a room too. Now, you're not going to hold a room and say, I'm looking for clients. No, I want you to hold a room so that you can put on display your wonderful skill that you're looking to monetize. The thing about Clubhouse that is like no other app is the rooms that you can open on Clubhouse are literally like none other. They're basically like holding, for lack of a better word, I lost the word I want to say. The rooms that you can hold on Clubhouse are like no other. It's like holding a live focus group. Every time you open a room on Clubhouse, I want you guys to know you're holding a live focus group. What do I mean by that? Say that you created a perfume and you're not sure if it's the right perfume or you're not sure if you are going to make money. You might open a room on Clubhouse and you might title it, Ladies, do you like to treat yourself? Or does your man like to treat you, for example? And you might hold a room talking to ladies about, do they like to treat themselves? Do they treat themselves well? And during the conversation, a genuine, authentic conversation, you'll bring up, I am a perfume. During the conversation, during the genuine conversation, you might bring up that you created a perfume line. And you want to listen closely to the feedback that you're going to get from the room. Do the listeners in the room like perfume? Are they interested in buying perfume during a pandemic? Have people decided to put luxuries to the side to focus on things that are really needed? What I'm saying to you is that Clubhouse rooms are essentially live focus groups. And if you realize that and see them as that and use them appropriately, you will be able to start a business that actually sees results. You see, I would never have been able to make all the money I make on Clubhouse if I did not first understand that you don't want to start a business that doesn't have a need, right? We have supply and demand. It's always been the crux of how business runs. So I would not have started master moderating for people if there wasn't a need for a master moderator. So I want you to do the same thing. Open a room on Clubhouse. Open a room consistently, whether it's once a week, but do it at the same time every time. If you can do it twice a week, great. Same time every time. Why do I focus and emphasize on doing things at the same time? You're building community. When you're building community, the people that like you and are listening to your message and enjoy it and want to hear more of it are going to want to be able to find you with ease. If you're holding your rooms at different times every day or every week, it's inconsistent. Hold your rooms the same time, the same day, and the people that enjoy your message will find you every time and will come back. So what else have we learned? Consistency, authenticity, making a plan of action, figuring out what you're good at, creating a 70-30 rule. You can borrow mine. Spend 70% of your time building your own stage on Clubhouse and only 30% of your time on other people's stages. And when you're on other people's stages, I want you to follow my LOPS method, leverage other people's stages. How do you do that? Make sure you get on that stage, you add immense value, but before you go, people need to know who you are. So let me give an example of what that looks like. Say somebody's holding a room about how to scale their business. They have you on as a co-moderator. You're there to help them, and somebody asks a question on how they can move their business from $5,000 a month to $10,000 a month. And you answer the question. First, answer their question, right? Add immense value always. But after you answer their question, I want you to LOPS, leverage other people's stages, by making sure that that person you just added value to knows who you are. So I'd say something like, hey, Marie, my name is Isis Djata. I'm known here on Clubhouse as the master moderator, and I hope that I was able to add some value by answering your question. In that 5 to 7 seconds, I just let Marie know who I was, what I do, and she's going to follow you. Why? People like to follow people that add value on Clubhouse. So I want you guys to get on other people's stages, be confident about it, but make sure while you're there, you leverage their stages so that you get the return on investment by getting the following. There's other things you need to keep in mind on Clubhouse too. Now, if you want to run a business and if you're using Clubhouse to do it, I want you to start seeing Clubhouse as your virtual place of business. I know this sounds funny because you're saying Clubhouse is a social audio app. It's more than that. For me, Clubhouse is my virtual place of business. So every time I get on Clubhouse, I am on there for business only. I really don't go on there for anything else, meaning I'm not there to hang out. Everything I do is super intentional. Anywhere you see me on Clubhouse, I'm there for a reason. I don't go on the majority of stages, not because they're not great, not because people aren't running phenomenal events, because they are. I don't do it because my time is super valuable. So I want to make sure that I spend it wisely so I can get a maximum return on investment. And when you're on Clubhouse and you are there to market yourself so you can get clients, I want you to really focus on being professional. Now, I know people are saying, you don't need to tell me this. Actually, I do. I have to tell you guys that I've seen people lose a variety of opportunities on Clubhouse because they were not professional. You have to understand that your clients and customers are in the audience. You don't know who they are yet, and they don't know you, but they've come into the room because they wanted to hear you speak. They wanted to see you in action. So it's really important when you're on Clubhouse, you carry yourself professionally. What does that mean? You treat everybody with dignity and respect. You make sure that everybody leaves your stage with their dignity intact. You don't throw anyone into the audience. You don't berate anyone. You don't bully anyone. And you act professionally. When you do that, you will attract small business owners, brands, and everyone in between. I know because I've done it. I have brands that are my clients. I'm going to be getting sponsored soon for one of my rooms, but I have to tell you, that couldn't have happened if I wasn't being professional. So it's really important that I focus on talking to you guys about professionalism. I know that professionalism is like self-explanatory, and you're like, Isis, why are you mentioning this? It's just really important. I have to tell you, I would not have done as well as I'm doing on Clubhouse if I did not understand the importance of professionalism. I would never have the clients that I have, brands reaching out to me, businesses, getting offers for sponsorship deals, if I didn't carry myself accordingly. And it really boils down to one basic principle. Brands are not going to want to attach themselves to anyone who's too controversial or unprofessional. Think about it. These brands and companies have spent millions of dollars building up their presence and their reputation. They're not going to allow anyone to ruin it. So if you want to attract brands, businesses, if you want to get sponsorship offers, if you want to be hired, and if you want to be paid lots of money like I am, I want you to focus on being professional whenever you're on Clubhouse. See Clubhouse as your virtual place of business, and every time you show up there as your best self. And when you get on stage, make sure that you understand that every time you're on stage, you're marketing yourself and your clients are sitting in the audience and you're listening. So I want you guys to go out there, make a plan, ask yourself what you're good at, how you can monetize that thing you're good at, how you're going to get the word out to the masses. And then I want you to open rooms on Clubhouse and start adding massive value. And when you do that, your clients and customers will find you. But that's not it, guys. Make sure while you're doing all of that, that you're leveraging relationships, meeting the right people, following my 70-30 rule, and being super authentic. Because the one thing I want to remind you of is when you show up and you're not yourself, people will find out. Because there's a few search engines that people use on Clubhouse. They're called LinkedIn, Instagram, Google, and Facebook. Oh, and Twitter too. And if you're not your authentic self, sometimes things that you may not want people to find will be exposed, and it can really hurt your business. So everything I'm telling you today is based on personal experience, based on seeing other people go through it. And I want you guys to make lots of money on Clubhouse. If you want to monetize Clubhouse, you can totally do it. And if you want to learn more about how to monetize Clubhouse and find out in detail my method for making $60,000 a month, make sure that you go to mastermoderatoruniversity.com to learn about my live 5-day class. I'd love to take you through it so you can start monetizing the app too. So in closing, guys, I want you to be authentic, get a plan together, find out what you're good at, how you can monetize it, how you can get the word out. Clubhouse is a phenomenal place to do that. Use those rooms as focus groups, and you will find out that your clients and customers are on Clubhouse and they're waiting for you. I know you guys can do it. I'm super excited to see you on the app, and I can't wait to see you monetize Clubhouse the way I have. Thank you so much. My name is Isis Djata, and I am your master moderator.